things. And we continue our conversation now with General Paul Vallely, joining us from Montana, here with us live on America's Forum to talk about what's next at the Pentagon. General, for someone who has no military experience whatsoever, it was painful at times watching Chuck Hagel try to work with this administration. I can only imagine what it was like for someone like yourself who understands the workings of the military and how it works with the administration to see their relationship deteriorating.
Well, Secretary Hagel, former secretary, I guess, are still in position for a few days until they find a new replacement. But he did serve in the military a little bit as an enlisted man back in Vietnam. But certainly many of us knew when he was appointed to that job, he was not capable, did not have the sufficient international strategic military background that was needed for that job. So he resigned because he was fired. It was sort of an embarrassment to see the way the sham was portrayed to the American people yesterday in the White House. If Hagel had any what I call cojones, he would have stood up and said, "Yeah, I've been fired because I didn't get along and I didn't go along with Susan Rice, National Security Team there at the White House, and Valerie Jarrett and Obama." But he didn't stand up strong enough, and he didn't portray a man of strength and leadership while he was in the position there for 20 months.
Now, we've heard a lot of reports about this very close-knit circle, this inner circle that Obama has, and the fact that Chuck Hagel was not in that inner circle. Why would anybody want this job, given the fact that this administration seems not to listen to what his advisors, including the Secretary of Defense, tell him?
Well, that's a great question. I'm not sure who would want it, but they'll probably get some politician again that wants to stay in government, and they'll look within the Defense Department as they're looking at two people right now. And Jack Reed from Rhode Island is another potential candidate. He had served in the military short tour, I should say, after his graduation from West Point. But I'll tell you, John, they need somebody with a solid international strategic vision. They need somebody that's got a lot of military experience and how you fight this war today and the threats against America, whether it's ISIS or on our borders. You just can't put a politician in there that doesn't have the background to make the tough decisions that need to be made, and also to stand up to the White House when they're wrong in their planning.
Well, some of the names that have been thrown out there already today, we'll put up a screen here so folks at home can see. Michelle Furnoy, who is a former Undersecretary of Defense. She would be the first woman ever chosen as Secretary of Defense. Michigan Senator Carl Levin might fit that category, a former politician. He's on his way out of his Senate seat, might stick around in Washington, maybe not. And Ashton Carter, a former Deputy Defense Secretary. I don't think you're too excited about any of those names on that list, Paul, but could you give us somebody who you would think represents that strong understanding of the challenges that the military is facing today? Who would you like to see?
Well, I'm making a call to General Patton's grave, John, and asking if we can resurrect General Patton in some way to come back, or MacArthur or Eisenhower. But, you've got Admiral Ace Lyons, you got General Tom McInerney, General Jerry Boykin, a tremendous retired military that have the skills that we need today to fight this war. But Obama will never go that route. He'll pick a political flunky that doesn't have any really background experience, and we're going to continue down this path for 2 years until this whole national security team is replaced. I mean, again, here's another tremendous embarrassment to the American people.
So basically what you're saying, General,
people out there, but he's not going to pick anybody qualified.
As things continue to escalate in Iraq, and what you're telling us is that we are looking at another 2 years here without a clear direction forward, without a clear strategy to defeat ISIS, and more back and forth between the administration telling the military that it knows what it should be doing.
Well, it appears that way, John, and we should not be naive about it. But when you have somebody incompetent and inept like Susan Rice, that basically is the White House representative for national security, and Hagel and General Dempsey and the other generals did not communicate or connect with Susan Rice because she's totally incompetent. She should be replaced. So when you have that kind of configuration, you're not going to have any successes.
Well, no resignation from Susan Rice just quite yet, although a number of Obama administration officials are stepping down. General Paul Vallely, thanks so much for Skyping in with us today.
Okay, John. Thank you.
All right, we'll look forward to that report, the Benghazi Citizens Commission report. Coming up, more America's Forum right here on Newsmax TV. We're back right after this.